Continuation of a moment of anger and its consequences, part 2. In case if you're just joining for the first time, please do well by going through my page and watch part 2, part 1, so that you're able to understand this class very well. My name is Jane Odukoya. I'm the convener of the Voice of a Woman on a Mission. I'll be talking on the following subtopics on anger. I'll be talking on 8 signs that will make you know you have anger issue. 4 stages of anger. Anger from the emotional perspective. Negative effects of anger on health and biblical perspective of anger. 8 signs that when you're seeing them, you know you have anger issue. Anger verbal outburst. Feeling hatred towards yourself. Always haunted by the past. Feeling obviously that something is wrong. You're easily affected with news. You easily feel irritated or annoyed. Shallow breathing. Unhappy. If you see yourself exhibiting any of these signs, you know you have anger issue or anger problem, and trust me, you need help. Okay, I'll proceed to 4 stages of anger: the build-up, the spec, the explosion, and the aftermath. The build-up is the stage 1 that sets the foundation upon which the anger is built. It is where the anger feeling began. It is the source of pain. Avoid sources that cause you pain, such as games, association. Let me explain. Maybe there's some games you like playing or like watching, and whenever you're being defeated, you feel bad. It's not wrong to feel bad. It's a normal thing to feel bad when you're defeated, but your inability to manage the fact that you lost the game is the problem. Yeah. So if you know that you love this very game and for any reason you're defeated, you will start feeling bad, start transferring aggression, start sparking at people, I will encourage or suggest you stop such games. That is where the anger build-up began. The spark is the activity that sets off an angry outburst. There are 2 varieties of spark, internal and external. Funny enough, you don't see any of them coming, but they are being influenced by the build-up. The explosion is a sudden expression of an angry feeling that often results to violence. Explosion, whether small or big, is the event that gets the more of the attention. The aftermath. Aftermath is resolution time, settlement, reconciliation, or peace talk time. It's a time to make peace between the parties involved in explosion. It's a time to speak to them in a language they will understand. It's a time to ensure that whatsoever that led to explosion does not occur again. Aftermath is very important after explosion. You know why? Because whatsoever that happens in explosion plays a negative role on the parties involved, on parents, spouse, children, etc. The essence of aftermath is to ensure that whatsoever that led to explosion doesn't occur again. We'll be looking at anger as an emotion. What emotion is anger classified on? Anger is classified under secondary emotion. It can be seen beneath sadness and fear, which are part of the primary emotion. Anger as an emotion has the potential to raise high blood pressure, cause headache or fever. Outwardly, however, anger can make someone to speak in a high tone, clench its jaw, face, and other things that may result to violence. Negative effects of anger on health. It increases cardiovascular system. Cardiovascular system is the circulatory system that pumps blood from the heart to the lungs to get oxygen. As the anger persists, it will affect many central nervous systems. This will lead to a rise in high blood pressure and stroke, ulcer, some heart diseases, and bowel diseases, as well as slower wound healing. We'll be looking at anger from the Bible perspective. I'm using 3 persons as an illustration in this topic. The first person I'll be using is Cain and Abel. Yeah, God asked them to make a sacrifice unto him. And Cain's own was rejected, Abel's own was accepted. And Cain became angry with his brother and killed his brother. And God cursed him. If you read the book of Genesis chapter 4 from verse 8 down, you will understand the story very well if you don't know about it. The next person is King Ahab and Queen Jezebel. Yeah, they wanted a land, a vineyard that belongs to Naboth, and Naboth refused to give it to them. He said it's his only inheritance from his parents, and Ahab became angry, and that led to them plotting the death of Naboth, and they killed Naboth through setup, and God caused them. God told them that the same way the dog licked the blood of Naboth in the palace is the same way dog is gonna lick their own. If you read the book of 1 Kings chapter 21 verse 1, you will understand the story very well if you don't know the story. The next person is Moses. Moses disobeyed God, not intentional. He was provoked by the people of Israel, and he went contrary to what God asked him to do. And what was his punishment? God told him that he would not see the promised land, and that came to pass. Anger can cause you the following spiritually. It can deny you some blessings. Example, Moses. It can bring generational curses. Example, in the case of Cain, and even in the case of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel. It can take away one's posterity. Yeah, God told Cain that his posterity has been taken away from him. Okay. Some verses in the Bible that talked about anger. For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. James 1:20. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. Psalms 37 verse 8. Be not quick in your spirit to become anger, for anger lodges in the heart of fools. So if you're piling up anger in your heart, you are considered as a fool by God. It's not me that said it, is here in the Bible. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 9. Whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has hasty temper exalts fool. You see, God keep calling people who exalt themselves in anger fool. And I know you are not a fool, my brother. You need to pray that God will help you not allow anger to rule over you, because it's destructive. Proverbs 14 verse 29. This one is a warning from God. He says, make no friendship with a man given to anger, nor go with a wrathful man. Proverbs 22 verse 4. You see, God said we should not make friendship with a man given to anger. So these are biblical perspective on anger. With these very few points of mine on these anger subtopics, I know you've learned something today, and I'll be bringing part 3 in no distance time.